Hello, welcome to the Ultimate Fighting Chat podcast. Today we're going to be discussing UFC Fight Night, the Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige, the main card. It's Dan 50k Ige. So my question is, what's the Korean Zombie's nickname? Brilliant. Main card chat this time, so it's very exciting. And do we need to say anything before we go straight on to the first fight? Or are we going? Hold on a moment. Or are we going straight on to the first fight?
Gon's first fight, isn't it?
Okay, in that case, it's Matt the Immortal Brown versus Diego Lima. This is a very easy fight to chat about because Lima does nothing but calf kicks, all that training, and he's only got one move. So I'm sorry, but it's Des that he got. It's absolutely Des that he got banged out in round 2. What have you got to say about it?
Well, you know my feelings on Lima. So,
well, you've discussed Lima before, and you don't like the fighting styles.
Yeah, I find him too passive, don't I? He to be fair, I thought he was all right in the first round in this fight. I think he won the first round, didn't he? If I remember rightly.
I'd say he did.
And he wasn't circling around the edge of the cage quite so much. And but didn't stop. The right hand from hell landing and putting him out. I mean, it really put him out, innit? It wasn't one of these ones where he went a bit funky or, kind of got glove punched for a while or Matt Brown had to look up at the ref to stop it. I mean, he really did face plant him and
it didn't look that powers, in real time, did it?
That's right, yeah. It didn't. It was one of those ones where I looked and I watched the replay, and I think the first angle that they showed the replay from, I looked at it and went, so what? Why is he all banged out? I mean, did he even get it? And then they did show another angle. I was all right, he definitely got clobbered. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? Good for Matt Brown because he was getting into the Rashard Evans territory of carrying on fighting, but looking like Dana was going to have to pull the plug on him because it was like, listen, bruv, you're never going to win a fight ever again as long as you got a hole in your backside. But he did. And obviously now he's saying, I'd like another smash. Obviously he would because he's definitely a guy who likes a fight. But
yeah, he must have enjoyed it. Like you say, he enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah, I think he does. Well, he did retire once, didn't he? And it didn't last long. He obviously definitely really likes it. Sometimes I just wish these guys would go out on a high. And is Matt Brown going to get many more opportunities to go out on as good a high as this? Opened up the main card, banged someone out with a face plant TKO, well, not TKO, KO. And yeah, I mean, he don't show me this kind of guy who's going to want to go out on a decision loss or getting banged out himself. So we could be waiting another 3 or 4 fights before he gets another win and can ride off into the sunset. So
do it for me. Tell me, who's he fighting next? Let's have it. What are you saying? What is he, welters? Oh my, you're asking me about weight class again.
Yeah, I know. It's
but no, this one I'm all right. Welters. So what are we saying? Who are you going to put him up against?
I think it would. Look, at the end of the day, I'm going to throw this out there.
No, yeah, you can't fight at the end of the day, mate. It's too soon.
Lots of people won't agree with me, but how about Josh Fabia? I'd love to see that fight.
I don't think it's deserved, though. Why has he got to do Fabia? It should be Fabia versus Sanchez, no?
That would be amazing. They could put that on. They could put that on. The underpool.
Yeah, Jake Paul card.
I even called it the underpool of a Jake Paul fight. The undercard of a Jake Paul fight.
Definitely good one.
I don't know who I'd like to see. Matt Brown fight. I mean,
God. Well, let's
he's not doing bad. He's won 3 of his last 5, but. Yeah, I don't know. He's in that territory where he's not going to make another run at the belt, is he? So that's kind of just, you almost feel like you want those sort of Diego Sanchez style fights. 2 guys who are on that similar.
Cerrone?
Yeah, but he's got done by
Cerrone does lightweights now, doesn't he? Oh no, sometimes he don't.
Yeah, but he wouldn't mind fighting. He'd fight welters as well. Then he fights at both, and he'd appreciate not having to cut the weight. But he's already been done by Cerrone. So, I mean, my initial thought, the reason why I said Fabio was I think it'd be a perfect fight for him and Sanchez, a real, two similar guys, similar stage of their career, who both scrap. It'd be a great send off for both of them, or one of them, whoever wins, I suppose. But he's already beat Sanchez. He's already beat Sanchez. So,
and Sanchez has lost his job thanks to Fabio. So
I think UFC, if Sanchez picked up the phone, he could get one more scrap out of him now that he's ditched that knobhead. But
yeah, probably.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not my job.
Okay, so. Well, it's an enjoyable fight, wasn't it? Of course, it always is. Matt Brown. Have you seen him scat Matt Brown fight? I ain't. I don't think. I think he's brilliant.
I'll have to think, but no, I don't think I am.
Good, isn't he?
Oh, well, he is what he is, isn't it? Goes in there and has a tear up.
That's it.
No two ways about it. I mean, I don't particularly. He wouldn't be a guy that I would tell somebody who was new to MMA, go and have a look at this guy, because I think they're way going. So these are just rock hard street brawlers, that kind of thing. I do think he's got really good grappling and stuff like that, but he just likes to smash too much.
Yeah.
I think that's all he's bothered about. He's going in there and having a smash. So,
he does what he says on the tin. He's brilliant.
Yeah, wicked career and all that. So,
yeah,
this would be a good way to end it. But listen, I ain't going to be the guy to tell Matt Brown you ain't having a smash.
No, but it is a good win, like you say. A younger fella. It alluded to that they were he was one of the coaches on the Ultimate Fighter for Lima, wasn't he? That's what it said.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So
obviously didn't coach him on how to defend a right hand.
Well, maybe he did, and he knew he was going to do him later. So
yeah, thought I'd keep that one behind here just in case.
Right, well, a good fight, entertaining, enjoyable, as expected from Matt Brown. Not really as expected from Diego Lima, but I agree. I do think he did all right in round one. Not as bad as usual, but his tentativeness, and you've talked about this in the past, it done him. It was kind of Des, really, because he was fighting similar to, as you've said before, just not really committing to much, and he was getting walks down and circling out and ended up getting smashed out. Well, that's what happens, isn't it? I mean, well, that's what can happen, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what can happen, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's that fight. Done and out of the way. Good one, boys. Oh, hang on. Is Lima... Oh, no, he won his last fight, didn't he, I think? Oh, no, did he not?
He lost his last fight, didn't he?
Yeah, by doing nothing, wasn't it?
Yeah, just got cage burn on his back. Look, he's lost his last two, right, but he's only lost 2 of his last 5. So he may get another shot. Hopefully he does, because I don't see anyone lose their job. Right, next.
Yeah, and there's this D. Chirico, who's absolutely brilliant. Okay, next fight then. Wellington, the Prodigy Turman versus Bruno Blindaddo Silva. So I don't know why he's got that name. I don't know what Blindaddo is. Maybe you can look that up. What's Blindaddo mean?
Don't know. Next.
Don't sound like good, does it, being a blind dad? But that's what his nickname is. But Wellington has got a run-on-the-mill name in the Prodigy. It'd have been much better just having a nickname. It's a very missed opportunity. It's very simple. Beef Wellington Turman. That's what it should have been.
How about the Duke?
The Duke Wellington. Yeah, well, another good one.
The Duke of Wellington, yeah.
Right, exactly. Or Beef Wellington. Or if you really wanted to have another alternative, if we didn't already come up with 2 way better names, it could be Wellington Krator Turman.
Oh, God of War?
No, he had Krator's face.
Oh. I thought you meant Krator from the God of War series.
That's Kratos. That's Kratos.
Oh, it's Kratos.
Yeah.
He could have called himself Boots.
Well, Wellington Boots. I mean, missed opportunities here.
Yep.
Boots. I think Boots might be my favourite one. Fighting Boots. Yeah. Wellington Boots Turman. Fun, light-hearted, and you can relate it to fighting. There you go, Wellington. I know you're listening. Take it on board. I expect it to be announced by Buffer on the next fight. maybe not because you got done.
Yeah.
The winner was Silva by a KO from ground strikes. Powers, they didn't look Powers, but they connected clean, them ground strikes, didn't they?
Yeah, he was. They mentioned in the commentary that these two had a smash before, but grappling, and Bruno Silva won that. And he's now really sealed the deal by banging him out cold. And I agree. I mean, when he got his opportunity to get on top, sort of similar to that Soa Palele, when he landed those strikes, really did make that guy look like he was, had a few jars too many down the old local pub. So
yeah,
really put him out cold. Kind of landed a couple of unnecessary ones, but no malice on his part. No malice on his part. He was just in the flow, and it wasn't the refs.
It's not his fault.
It wasn't the refs' fault either. It was just fighting being what it is. He maybe could have stepped in a split second earlier, but at the end of the day, it was good from Silver. He didn't show me much. Well, Turman, I wasn't that impressed with at any stage, but I think he was sort of having a little bit of the better early on. But when Silver got his opportunity, he didn't mess about, did he?
Those punches just had such a big effect that I wasn't expecting. I mean, I guess Turman weren't expecting it either, or the ref.
Yeah,
because they were really just normal, punches from the top. They were just normal, but the effect wasn't normal, was it? They were amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, either that guy's weed, or he just really good at generating power from the top, or Palele natural. I don't know. It was something was going on there. I'd like to see him fight again. See if he can do that. See if he has that on the feet and all, because was some serious power from that position. I know you get a lot of power from that position anyway, right? Gravity coming down, etc., etc. So it's no surprise. It's just they didn't look devastating, but they were. So, and you can't say, but it's the build-up of damage throughout the fight because it happened in round one.
Yeah, and he had basically taken no damage to that point, pretty much, hasn't he? So
it's all fresh. Next fight then, Julian Juicy J Erosa versus Sungwoo Sting Choi. It's a quick one, this. Round one KO by Choi. He just threw the same combo the whole fight, really, for as long as the fight lasted. Straight right, left hook, bang, done. Banged him out in round one. What you got to say about this?
I'll tell you what I've got to say about this.
Okay, fantastic.
I really, really rate that Sungwoo Choi.
I don't remember seeing him fight before, but I thought he was brilliant and all.
I have seen him fight a few times before, and I remember he actually fought Ivloev, so the guy beat Dawodu the other day in his debut. And I remember thinking, you know what? Even though he lost that fight by unanimous decision, stuff like that, he was grief. He was good. He looked sharp. He looked snappy. He looked dangerous. He's one of those tall, thin guys that has that good sort of snap whip effect to his shots. Sorry, am I boring you?
No, I'm joking.
And he's got that good snap whip effect to his shots, kind of like how Tommy Hearns did in the boxing ring and stuff. And I really, really liked him. I liked him in every fight he's been in. He's actually had I think it's five UFC fights. And
I remember his fights. I mean, I don't remember many. I have got a pretty crappy memory, but what were his fights then?
So he lost to Ivloev by decision. He lost to Gavin Tucker by a rear naked choke. But then he's won his last three. He beat Mkhitaryan by decision, Zalal by decision, and now Erosa by KO. Erosa is one of those guys I actually think he's all right.
Yeah, he is.
He had a fight with Paddy Pimblett. Who's
the baddie?
Yeah, Paddy the Baddie Pimblett.
Oh, I bet he got absolutely blazed.
Well, no, I don't. I think he lost the fight by decision, but he shouldn't have. I mean, he won that fight clearly.
I actually remember it.
Yeah, and it's the one where Pimblett threw up in the cage afterwards. Do you remember that? He threw up it looked like he just had a chocolate milkshake or something. He just threw it all straight back up into the cage. But I actually think Erosa's all right. But he's so easy to hit. He's so open. Do you remember like Todorovic and stuff, where he relies a lot on moving his head out of the way, keeping his hands low? And there's something to be said for keeping your hands low. Strikes coming from different angles, but you've really got to be well versed and well drilled in it. Really good.
Yeah.
And he's too easy to hit. He's too easy to hit in positions where his neck and his head are in compromised positions, as in what I mean is they don't have that ability to roll with the shot in any capacity, like Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, that kind of knockouts. It doesn't have that snapback effect where he can kind of absorb the shot. And every time I watch these fights, I'm like, I actually think this guy is not bad. He's got some good tools, but he's just too damn easy to hit. And Choi did hit him, and he banged him out. And I really like this Choi a lot. I'm not saying he's going to be a world champ. I'm not saying anything like that, but I do think he's really good. Hey, look,
I thought he was good.
Is the turtle from Korea? We've agreed he's crap. The worst ground and pound ever.
What about the other one who had a fight with
Dong
Granddad? He had a fight with Cub Swanson. He's Korean, right?
The Superboy.
Yeah.
Do Ho Choi. He's good. I haven't seen him in ages. He's
good and all.
Yeah. But yeah, this Kim, I like him a lot. Real nice, rangy, snappy, young as well. So
yeah, he looked absolutely qual, muscles, suntanned, and everything. He looked brilliant.
Oh yeah, he did look wicked.
Yeah, we're good. I didn't think he was good just because he banged him out. I mean, what I saw was good qual. He was, like you say, tight, sharp, fast twitch, muscle fibers, and all that going on. He looked good. Good defensively as well. Hands coming straight back to defensive guard and all that. I thought he was good and all. He looked good. The only thing I will say, there's nothing wrong with what he did because he only had to do what he did, and what he did worked, and he saw that it worked beforehand, and that's actually intelligent to do the same thing. It can be, as I said to you before, the Street Fighter bloke or whatever just did the sweep all the way, and if you ain't going to block it or you ain't going to change, then I'll just keep doing the sweep all the way. He saw that worked, then I straightened the hook, and Morosa didn't do any adjustments, so he just did it until it actually worked, finished it. So yeah, it was good. Very good.
Yeah, not much more to say on it because there wasn't much of a fight there, was there? So
no, but it was good. Yeah. So the next fight, then we're on to Dangerous Davy Grant versus Marlon Chito Vera. Okay, well, I've got stuff to say on this, but I'll let you go.
Why am I going first?
This is not because I thought this was a good one, no?
Yeah, brilliant fight.
It was really, brilliant. Really yeah, bloody excellent. This.
Yeah, Davy Grant is good. He's really good. His punches are a bit loopy. He's a bit tense when he throws some of his shots and stuff like that. But I wouldn't want to have a fight with him. I mean, he's blood, guts, and thunder. And he won that first round. I think he was doing good in the second round, if I remember rightly. But he did. Yep. He ate an elbow that cut him open, and I don't really care that it cut him open. That don't win somebody around just because you might have,
of course not,
slightly weaker skin tissue or skin tissue that tears over someone else. So I don't think it's always good to look at the two faces at the end of the fight and go, well, he must have won because he's clean, and he must have lost because his face is all cut open. That don't mean nothing to me. You only got a sneeze on Frankie Edgar and he gets a nosebleed. So
yeah,
none of that means anything to me. But I thought this was a really close fight.
Very.
I only think Vera just sneaked it by coming on strong at the end of the second round. Davy Grant fought for what looked like a really tight choke.
Yeah,
through that was amazing, and he's just he's proved himself, Davy Grant, I think, to be a real, I'm not going to say contender because he's not a contender yet, but a real decent, top quality fighter in that division. I mean, I don't think there's anyone who'd be going, I want to have a smash with Davy Grant because that'll be easy. I mean,
I just don't know what's happened right with him, because fair play to him, right? He said in an interview before this fight that he'd had a few fights before this where he'd had some injuries, so he was worried about losing his job and he just needed to win. So he said, I held back a bit and just made sure, look, just do what you need to do to win because I don't want to lose my job. Being a British guy, he was pretty open with the chats. He said, but now I've had a couple of bang outs or whatnot and I feel good again. I don't have the injuries. I'm just going to go out and do full powers, put everything into it. And, you know, and he did. Fair play to him, he did. And fair play to Vera as well, because he took everything that Grant had and he gave loads back. It was an excellent fight. There's no doubt about it. I'm totally confused by David Grant. I think we first saw him on Ultimate Fighter. He was an Ultimate Fighter bloke, wasn't he?
That's right.
And there were nothing to write home about. I'll lingers it. They weren't, right?
And we thought he was decent. We thought he was okay, but
was
that
just
was
a good.
Kind of, we just thought he was a decent British fighter that probably when he came over to America would get wrestled by the wrestle blokes and probably banged out by the slightly slicker strikers. But he's kind of seems to be able to compete in both facets of the game.
I'm telling you now, right? I think he's bloody brilliant, is the truth. I really do. Yeah, I really do think he's brilliant. I don't know what's happened, but he's striking, especially his kicks. They're really, really good. His kicking is really nice. It's smooth. He can do a lot of different kicks, which shows a lot of dexterity, and they're all decent. So you could say, oh, he's good at a front kick, but his side kick is bad, or his spinning back kick is bad. But they're not. They're all good. Now, his spinning back kick was decent. His front kick was decent. His push kick was decent, because they are different kicks, All of these kicks were good. Even his spin kick, no, they're not Barboza quality, but they are still very, very good. So his kicking is amazing. He done switch kicks, jump kicks. All his kicking was brilliant. And he was throwing a lot of kicks and massive punches. And for some reason, it looked like nothing was having an effect on Vera. I was so confused by it. Round 3 started, Grant was all smashed up, blood everywhere. And Vera, from the look, just purely from the physical look, it was just 0 damage. I mean, how? How? That guy, Davy Grant, threw everything at that bloke. I agree with you. The punches, after his punches, he's way open for counters. He don't move back. He don't move left or right. He basically doesn't move out of the way, and his hands are low. Right.
I think what gets him out of jail a bit is the fact that he throws with a lot of power. So people are more inclined to cover up. And he also does throw punches in bunches in combination, where again it kind of makes people go, right, I'll just let him finish this and then I'll deal with it after. Because he is thrown with full power, you don't really want to open up your guard too much in an attempt to counter because you don't know that a big looping left hook
no one's coming,
or what have you. So I think that gets him out of jail a little bit. But yeah, he's a little bit open when he's throwing his strikes, and after he strikes, he kind of throws a little bit from the hip and stuff like that. But he's, like you say, he's just brilliant. He's got good cardio. Obviously, he's slowed down, but of course he slowed down. I mean, he fought like an absolute maniac for about 8 minutes.
He did 100% of the way.
Round. I thought third round he was going to be as weak as a kitten, and Vera was either just going to bully him around or maybe even stop him later in the round. He didn't. David Grant was still slinging back, all guns blazing at the end.
Telling you,
like you say, Vera was good. I think he's a real tough guy to beat. I don't think he's got elite skills, but I think he's a tough guy to beat. And
how you going to do him?
Exactly. Yeah.
How you going to do him? He's strong. He's strong. He can take shots. He's good on the ground. He's good at defending takedowns. He's got decent striking, decent punching, decent kicking. He's just good, isn't he? He's just good.
Yeah. You're going to have to take the long, hard road to beat him. So, both of them were brilliant. Really good advert for that division. And that is, I would say, going from maybe a few years back, that division looking a little bit dry, if we're being honest. It weren't too great. To now probably the best division around, or definitely in the top 2 or 3. I mean, it's brilliant.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So
it was great fight. Absolutely brilliant fight. Really, really enjoyed it. I'll do one of those classics. Davy Grant lost, but his stock ain't gone down or whatnot. Because the truth is, a lot more people would have seen that. It was on the main card. It was a very good fight, a very entertaining fight. So a lot of people would have seen it. There'll be a lot of people that don't know who he is, or maybe might not have remembered him or seen him fight. I mean, he's had a couple of good knockouts before this as well. So he's got eyes on him. And to me, I can't imagine anyone watching that and going, yeah, Davy Grant's crap. He got smashed in or whatever. I mean, to me, he deserves more respect than Nate Diaz got in that Leon Edwards fight. Everyone's talking about Nate Diaz after him losing that Leon Edwards fight, after a terrible performance. Davy Grant lost this fight, and it showed me how good he was. He's brilliant. And we're talking about him, and I realised that. But just to confirm, Yeah, Vera, absolutely brilliant as well. We've said it. Yeah. Both brilliant. Excellent fight, that.
Well, I looked at that fight, and afterwards I went, well, surely these two guys both deserve a top 15 ranking, or, you know, or a big fight next. But you look at that bantamweight division, I look at it and I go, geez, you know what? I don't know who Marlon Vera or Davy Grant would smash in that division. You know, they're also powers in that division. It's
name some.
Look, there is a few that I think that these people could beat, because I feel that they're on the other side of the hill on their career. So they're sort of like on the downward slope, and people like Vera and hopefully Davy Grant, because we like him, are on the way up. Just to quickly touch on, it was quite interesting. I watched a interview with Davy Grant and John Gooden beforehand, and it was nice to hear somebody talking positively about the UFC, because he said, I had 3 terrible injuries on the trot.
I saw it.
I'd lost my last couple of fights. So the UFC, if you like, didn't really have much incentive to sort of see me good or look after me. And he goes, and they did. They looked after me.
Paid
and now they're giving me fights. Yeah. And I think it's very easy to bash the UFC. People do it all the time. They don't get paid enough money. Of course, who does get paid enough money, right? I appreciate all those arguments. I'm not saying they're even wrong or anything, but it was just nice to hear somebody saying, I was having a rough time of it and they were there for me and they looked after me. Because it's nice to think what you're watching is also a nice organisation, or does look after its fighters to some degree, rather than just being, you know, a whip crap and slave driver like some people like to paint it as. So I thought that was quite a nice little story, and I thought it was quite nice of him to. It wasn't nice of him. He just told the truth.
It's like we say with anything, right? You go into a shop and you get terrible service, and you might complain and have a go and go, excuse me, that was terrible service. Someone gives you good service. That's just what you expect. So you don't say anything about it. You don't go, excuse me, that service was brilliant. And exactly what you're saying there is Davy Grant went, there was some good stuff that happened there, and I'm going to air that, you know, because it was good and I appreciate it. And business is the same. He does the same with a lot of his stories. He's always like, look, if you stick around, you do stuff, they will sort you out one way or another. You don't have to always have the big, massive paydays there and then. They will sort you out if you do the job, you know. And like when he was sitting in his car and he said he had no money, that story where Dana White said, how are you doing for cash and all that? He said, oh, yeah, you know, I'm doing great. I'm all right, thanks. Lying. Yeah, sitting in the car doing a Trajan with the window not going up and all that. He was doing that version. And he went, all right, no worries. And I don't know, whatever, 10G check turns up for him. Because Dana knew he ain't doing all right. Can't be doing all right. He ain't fought for ages or whatever. So, and that's what I like about business as well. He does, like you say, just tells the truth, but can't all be bad. And you are right. It is something that you're hoping you're following and watching this sport and watching this organization, and they ain't crap, because you don't want to knowingly, you know, support them. I mean, I still watch it regardless. I still would. I ain't going to lie. I wasn't going to suddenly go, well, that's it for UFC. Ain't watching this no more.
I'm a man of principle. Look, look like when we go to McDonald's, right? You know, I don't obviously eat McDonald's because I don't eat meat, right? But I go McDonald's, and of course, I'd rather not support McDonald's. You know, I think they're a bit of a rough organisation and all that.
Yeah.
But I still buy chips and a chocolate milkshake. You know, but obviously, I'd rather that they were an amazing company whose principles were in line with mine, but it ain't.
That's exactly it. Yeah, if we're in the queue,
milkshake.
In the motor, and Woods is sitting there going, "What do you want?" You know, you could say nothing.
Yeah,
get the chops, the hot chocolate, or the milkers, and you're in.
Yeah, or a flurry.
Yeah, so it's good to know that
if they want to sponsor the show. I want to sponsor the show. You know what I mean? Chuck a few quid
McDonald's. You just said that they're crap.
Yeah, I've changed my mind. They're brilliant.
Well, they're crap unless they sponsor the show. Then they're all of a sudden brilliant.
Yeah.
They could be good. They could be good. So we move on to the next fight then.
Yeah, go on in.
Alexei, the boa constrictor, Grandad Olinik versus Sergey Polar Bear Spivak. I don't know who was right, but Bizzers was calling him.
I think you'll find his name is Spivak, mate.
Okay, right. Well, I've got a few examples here from the broadcast. Michael Bisping was calling him Spivak. Kruz was calling him Spivak. And Buffer called him Spivak. So there was 3 different ones there. So I don't know what's going on. Crap fight on paper. Crap fight for real. Done.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy this fight. I can't dress it up in any other way. Look, Olenek, I think, is brilliant, right? And there's how often are you going to find guys in this day and age, where people seem to get into the UFC, the big show, a hell of a lot quicker and a lot earlier in their career. And generally people only average sort of 3 fights a year, maybe if they're lucky. How many times are you going to see guys with records like his? It's rare, right? They're going to have to come from these further reaches of the world where maybe they are fighting every sort of couple of weeks or something. But it's rare. And he's got a hell of a lot of wins, and he's got a hell of a lot of, sort of unique submissions and stuff like that sort of he pulls off. He's definitely brilliant, and he's definitely got a unique haircut.
He's funny, man. He's got an old trying to be young haircut. He comes in, he's puffing his cheeks and blowing an all red, he's so funny. Puts his legs up on the cage in between rounds to get his breath back. He is brilliant. He is well funny, but blimey O'Reilly, he always fights the same.
Well, look, unless he drags his victims to the mat and crushes their neck or something within sort of the first round, let's give him the first round, it's either he's going to get banged out or it's going to be a snooze fest. It's going to be horrible striking. Horrible. For the love of God. Even if he landed one of those overhand rights, no damage will be done because the angle it's coming at, he literally swings it like a windmill. It's never gonna knock anybody out or even hurt anyone.
He'll end up snapping his shoulder or breaking his arm or whatever if it hits something.
I mean, I don't know, how would you even hold pads for him? For that
Good
right hand.
question.
Where would you have to hold that pad?
Maybe the bloke who held the pads for Stephen A.
I'd have to put it on my shoulder or something.
It might be the bloke who held the pads for Stephen A. The punch comes down and bang.
Yeah, it would have to be that sort of angle. Yeah, the Stephen A. nut shot. But
he's funny though.
He's striking. I can't. If he was a top trump card, we'll give him all out of 10. Chokes 10 out of 10, grit 8 out of 10, haircut 0 out of 10. If it got to stand up, I'd struggle to justify a 1. It's terrible. It's terrible. And the fact that Spivak, I'm gonna side with Cruz here. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Spivak.
He said it loads as well.
He didn't mess it up first time and go, everyone else is saying Spivak though, so I'll change. He just carried on and went, nope, I'm not changing. You guys will have to change.
Yeah.
The fact that he couldn't put more of a dominant performance in, more of a dominant striking performance. I know he was apprehensive about getting taken down and stuff. I appreciate that. But the fact that he can punch that guy's face in a little bit more conclusively led me to be rather disappointed in his performance.
So you were a bit down on the other fella.
I'm not viewing him as a contender because he beat Olenek. I look at it and I go, would that Spivak? That's it. It is Spivak now. Would that Spivak be able to fight and put up a decent fight against Razor Blades? Would he be able to do it against Miocic and Ngannou?
I know these just got called Razor Blades.
But yeah.
No one's winning against a razor blade, mate.
Well, that's his name, isn't it?
Yeah, but no one's winning against an actual razor blade.
Well, yeah.
Cut up. But it's like you said it like it wasn't a person. It's just like, if he had a fight against a razor blade, he'd get done.
Done by Gillette. It's done by Remington. But
brilliant.
I can't think of anybody in that heavyweight division. The top of it. I could see. I just don't see anybody.
I reckon Thingy'd do him. Rocky Martinez.
I was going to say I've got a feeling that Martinez would have a chance at doing him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's just if I read out these names, let's not go for it for a long time because I don't want to spend long in this fight because I didn't like it. But just say yes or no, as in would he stand a chance of beating him, like a decent chance? Miocic.
Well, no.
I'm not even going to bother with Ngannou. Derek Lewis.
I'm afraid he would stand a chance, but it's unlikely.
I said be quick.
Okay. Yes.
Oh my God! Right, Cyril Gane.
Yes.
Oh, Blades.
What, Razor Blades? Oh, he'd do Razor Blades. Razor Blades is well crap. No breath.
He'd get pounded out within the first round. He'd get smashed by Tybura, I think.
He'd do them all.
The first fight, I think he'd do Augusto Sakai, or I think he'd have a good chance of doing, being competitive in that fight. Chris Daukaus, same. Even Walt Harris, if he can get through the first sort of blitz in the first few minutes, ride some stormy weather. So there's a few people towards the bottom end of the top 10, but I didn't like this performance by him at all. So that's
it was bad, but it's a weird one, isn't it? Because we've said he's crap because he should have been able to do a Linux because a Linux crap, but we both said a Linux brilliant.
Yeah. Well, Linux definitely not crap, is he? He's definitely brilliant. But it has to be on his terms, right? If you turn it into a stand-up fighting affair, then he's absolutely awful. But if he can take it out of that striking realm in any capacity, then he's amazing, like one of the best, if anything. So
yeah,
there we go.
All right, well, that's that one then. I don't even think we said who won, but I don't even think we said that Spivak won, but he did. The next fight is the main event. Yeah, look, we're good, right? Look how we've learned from the past and how we're soldiering on and moving through. We're saying what we want. We're giving the detail. We're breaking it down, and we're already on the main event. Chang Sung-Jung, the Korean Zombie, versus Dan 50K Ige. What do you think of this 5-round main event?
Didn't like this fight that much. It weren't the worst fight ever. I thought Chan Sung-Jung was sorry?
Weren't very good. I didn't like it either. Just
I thought the Korean Zombie looked good. He mixed in some takedowns really well. Yeah. And his striking was good. He did get a bit rocked, I think, in the 5th round. But that was pretty much the only success that Ige had of any note, apart from landing the odd strike here and there, which you'd expect in a 25-minute fight that he's going to land a few right hands and left hooks and stuff. So
eventually, he didn't do much. Go on.
Nah, but it just seemed that Chan Sung-Jung was that little bit better than him in all facets, in the grappling, in the strikes, and it just made for a little bit of a dull affair because there wasn't that much intrigue in the fight. It was just kind of a little bit of a obvious procession of events to the decision. I didn't feel like either guy was going to knock the other one out. I didn't feel like either guy was going to submit the other guy. I just felt like it had 5 rounds written all over it.
Yeah.
After about sort of midway through the 2nd round, I went, this fight's not going to change for the whole fight. And it didn't. So that's why it didn't make for an entertaining spectacle so much. But
it wasn't very
impressive performance by Zombie. Sorry? It
wasn't very enthralling.
It wasn't enthralling, no.
What is? Yeah, nothing is. No such thing.
So I don't doubt that there was a lot of skill on display and all that. That's for sure. But I just wasn't that entertained by it because I didn't think it was a 48-47. One judge gave it 48-47, but I think you could make a claim that it could have been 50-45. No, or did Ige do enough in that 5th? I'm not sure. I can't really remember it that great. But
like exactly what you said, I thought there were times when I looked at the Zombie and thought he looks sharp. He don't look like a shot fighter. He looks like he's got plenty of breath left in him. He looked good, and he took on this young up and coming Powers bloke. But I don't want to do a Stephen A on the Dan Ige, but maybe he did get done by the lights and the main event and all that because he's normally a pretty aggressive Powers fighter. And if I'd never seen him fight before, I'd be, why is he in this main event? Don't want to be nasty. I know why he's in the main event. I watch the sport. I follow the sport. I know why he's in it. But looking at that, and I hadn't seen it before, I'd go, oh, why'd they choose these two for the main event? That Dan Ige, he didn't. What did he didn't show me now, apart from, as you say, a bit of grit in the 5th round. But it was a bit late, wasn't it, really? I don't know. It weren't that good, that fight.
No, I mean, he still looked, if it was the first time seeing him, I'd still go, he looks good as in technically, he strikes, he weren't winging his strikes. His strikes were nice and crisp and compact and, he was in shape, done all 5 rounds. There's a lot of, if you like, positive stuff to say about it.
Yeah, but that's coming from someone who, an analyst. right?
No, yeah,
But you
like to
watch
think
it,
so.
you watch a lot of it, right? But if you're not like that and you're just switching it on and going, oh, what's this 5-round main event? And you watch it, you'd go, this bloke, it just goes to show you kind of sometimes you've got to show a bit more, because if someone turned on that Nate Diaz fight, they would have said he's brilliant, and he weren't. And this Dan Ige was way better than that, but there was nothing to speak of. That's what I'm saying. Unless like you can pick things out and go, look, I can see that he's good. And as I've just said to you, I know he's good because I watch his fights. Other than that, from that fight, there were nothing for me either. I just looked at it and went, that just came and went, took a long time to come and go because it were pretty boring. And that was it really for that. I just went, it weren't very good. And that's it. Lucky for the viewers, if there is any, that is it for me.
I don't have anything to add. I mean, other than that, Chan Sung Jung did say that he needs to be a bit more, perhaps less fan friendly in order to get the right results, which obviously it's cost him against Yair Rodriguez in the last couple of seconds, and stuff like that. And that's a smart thing to do because it's his career and he's got to make the most of it. And there will still be times where, the zombie comes out, so to speak. But he's also got to be sensible. It'd have been nothing to gain from getting involved in a slugfest for the last round, say, for example, against Ige there, and ended up getting banged out.
Exactly, because as you rightly say, he's been there and he's had that, but that was a very weird anomaly, that he didn't see that Yair Rodriguez elbow coming, whatever. But had he just stayed away for a bit, that wouldn't have happened, he would have won that fight.
There's only 10 seconds left, and if he just circled the cage, he'd have won that fight. He said he lost it, took a knock to his rank, and all those things. So look, good performance from Jung. Like you say, he showed a lot that he's definitely still relevant in that division, etc.
Yeah, he looked fit. He looked fit and strong and ready to fight. He looked good.
Yeah, he did look good. But
didn't look all worn out, did he? He looked good. Yeah.
No, he looked very good. And
he got rid of a Powers top contender. Done. I mean, this is no slant on him, but as a viewing experience, there was no story. There's nothing to say. It wasn't him frailing. Sorry.
Yeah. Tough division, that one as well, though. I mean, I'm just going to reel off the names before we go. Volkanovski, obviously the champ, fighting Ortega soon. And you've got Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez, Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's rank, I think, should probably drop a bit.
But he's another one, though. He's another one. He smashed his teeth. That Josh Emmett, I don't really like him at all. But at the end of the day, he's absolute powers. He does not mind having an absolute powers smash. And if he smashes you one, you're out of there. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So, in that way, he's good.
Yep. Another good division, that one, for sure.
Well, look, so we don't want to drag things on, but I would like to know, seeing as we've got some spare time, let me know what the next event is. You just reel them off. I'm not going to give it all the chat. I'm not going to go, oh, let me break this down and let me chat about this and let me pick this. I ain't. I just want to know what's the next event, and I might, give a little shout if there's something exciting.
Okay, I'll take it from the prelims up to the main card as things stand. Yancy Medeiros versus Hadzovic, which I know you like, Medeiros.
Exactly. Yes, I really do.
Yeah, so he's going to be coming back. I haven't seen him.
Didn't know that. Brilliant.
Charles Rosa versus Justin James. Julia Avila versus Julia Stoilarenko. Pragnio versus Villanueva. Wally Alves versus Wells. Rachmanov versus Prajeras. Haven't seen him for a very long time. The tractor, Prajeras. So that'd be interesting.
Never heard of him.
Kennedy and Chekwu versus Danilo Marquez. Renato Moicano versus Jay Herbert. Tim Means versus Nicholas Dalby. So it wasn't supposed to be
Means.
Wasn't supposed to be the Dirty Bird versus Dalby though. Dirty Bird's opponent pulled out. I've forgotten who it is. It evades me for now, but pulled out. So Nicholas Dalby stepped in. Andre
Dalby, the European bloke?
Yeah, Danish fella.
Right, okay.
He looked decent last time, didn't he?
Didn't he?
We haven't been his biggest fan overall, but he actually looked better last time out. Andre Fili versus Daniel Pineda.
Nice.
Ronnie Barcelos versus Timo Valiev. Tanner Boza, quick turnaround for him.
Gautroy,
against Ovincent Prue. And Cyril Gahn versus Alexander Volkov. I mean, Cyril Gahn had one of the most boring, terrible performances in his last fight.
Yeah, it was bad, wasn't it?
I don't think Volkov will let him get away with being that inactive and that boring this time out. So
yeah, but if that's
maybe,
the case,
maybe that one will be all right.
Yeah, but it might bring the the grit out of Garn then, because I do think he's a good fighter.
So do I. Yeah, I think
Very
he's good.
I think he's really good. So, and Volkov, we haven't thought that great, but in the last fight we saw him, he was excellent. Is the truth for a big, long heavyweight? He was brilliant, really good.
He was, using his jab nice and effectively.
Yeah,
he was decent. Just concerned again a little bit that he can be a little bit easy to hit, and obviously in these big weight classes, especially someone like Cyril Gahn, I imagine if he gets hit bang on the button, it might be good night. But I actually like this Volkov quite a lot. I think he's decent. So
yeah, me too. He's pretty good.
See what happens.
Right. Well, that's the end of the main card of the Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige. Thanks very much as usual. Thanks to anyone who's still listening. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And the next thing I'll see you for is the review of the next episode of The Ultimate Fighter. So I'll see you for that.
Yeah. All right. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I know you are. All right. See you in a bit.